Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Traveling Contractor series. Where are we today? We are in Pennsylvania. In fact, Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Really beautiful map by TNTModding, I believe. What are we doing today here in beautiful Bucks County, PA? We are doing a cultivating contract. Beautiful here in November. The leaves are changing. Things are looking gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous and beautiful, oh yes, we have in front of us a Case IH. We've got the 1455 XL. This thing has a really nice engine tone, gear shifting. Yeah, it's got a really nice sound to it. Some great configuration options to it as well. And strapped onto the back of that, we've got the Case IH 490 cultivator. I guess in a way, I don't know. I look at something like this. Is it more of a disc harrow? That's what it looks a little more like to me, but I am not not a farmer. Not particularly up to speed on the little nuances. Maybe Farmer Joe can help me out with that one a little bit, but I believe this would be more of a disc harrow, but it's listed as a cultivator. We do have the old Category 2 hitch connection. I like that little detail. That's pretty cool. Hope you're all having a great week, a great Thursday. Christmas is less than a week away. Holy smokers. We have no snow. It's kind of sad. I'd like a good dumping of snow for Christmas, and then it can just go away and stay away for the rest of the winter, but weatherman is saying, not going to happen. Let's take a quick look at our 1455. We were fortunate enough to pick this setup from a local farmer here in the county. He wasn't using it, and I was tuned to him. He's actually letting us borrow this equipment. It's not even costing us anything. We're going to take care of him either way. I sent the rest of the crew home for November to take a couple weeks vacation. So it's just you, me, and the deer if they come around. Let's get this thing fired up and let's take a listen to it. Daddy likes nice little. Hear that turbo spinning up? Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's get out of these woods. Let's get out onto the field and see what in the world we need to do to get going. We have no GPS, so yours truly is going to be doing as good as he can. And I've been told there is another field that also needs cultivating on this map. Actually, there's a few different jobs we could pick up on this map if we so choose to do that. I'm not sure how long we're going to be sticking around. I'm going to get into that here in just a sec. Let's talk about the future of the Traveling Contractor. But for now, let's get the cultivator in the ground. Let's just listen to it. Very nice indeed. So the Traveling Contractor series, the intention behind it, at least when I swapped over from doing Throwback Thursday, was to experience some gameplay on different maps. See if we can kind of get a feel for some maps that maybe we won't be playing or doing a Let's Play on. And I think it's been going okay. I'm not sure that I'm as big a fan. For me, myself, I'm not sure that I'm as big a fan of it as I was the Throwback Thursday series. Part of that could just be the fact that we had a really nice Throwback Thursday with the old family farm. And I'm kind of missing that. I am. Not going to lie to you. I'm missing the old family farm, but I'm missing that kind of a gameplay or a break from our normal Monday through Friday Let's Play. So I think what I'm going to do after the beginning of the year, I think we're going to come up with something else. I think we're going to either go back towards the Throwback Thursday idea, and maybe it'll be kind of a combination of a Throwback Thursday plus a slower farming kind of a deal, where we don't feel like we have to get through a bunch of fields and a bunch of work to keep the series moving a little quicker, but maybe something that we just take our time with a little bit more. I kind of miss using some of the older equipment, some of the stuff that just, takes a little bit more time. Slow things down. We're always in a rush. We're always in a hurry. Everybody's in a hurry. Might be nice to just chill a little bit. And with these new crops we've gotten from from the premium expansion, I kind of want to experience some harvesting using some, I don't know, maybe doing some more realistic harvesting that maybe won't be so, that isn't as conducive to doing in a Let's Play, in our normal Let's Play. Like, for instance, we're going to have a lot of carrots to harvest over on Tranquil Waters. At least I consider it to be a decent amount of carrots. And we need to get through them. I can't spend a week's worth of episodes just harvesting carrots. So we're probably going to be using some larger equipment, which kind of leads me back to what I was saying, where it would be kind of fun to get into a map that would allow us to use maybe some of that 1, 2, 3 row harvesting equipment, stuff that you would legitimately see on a lot of farms that are doing carrot harvesting, or beets, or parsnips, or sugar beets, or, name it, right? So let me know what you think. If you're super into the Traveling Contractor series and you want to see that continue for a while longer, I'm definitely not opposed to doing that, and we can continue to just kind of get into some different maps. Otherwise, my thoughts are going to be still finding something. It would be another map that maybe's been around a while. I don't want to overlap the Let's Play series, because I know on our next Let's Play series, it's probably going to be a slow start, because I'm thinking about how painful do I really want to make it on myself, and it's been a while since I've made it really painful, so it'll all shake out. We'll figure it out one way or another. I've always said, if we don't like what we're doing, well, move on. Find something else. I'm not even opposed to, I'll tell you what, even if I find the wrong map for a Let's Play, I'm not opposed to saying, you know what, this map just isn't working. It's not working for me. Fortunately, we've not found that, and we've gotten lucky with some really good maps. I think there's a lot of good maps out there. I don't think it's an issue where you run into a lot of bad maps. We're lucky that way. We've got a lot of good modders, a lot of good people making maps that care a great deal about the community. And yeah, it's fantastic. We're very fortunate. I was looking today, no mods. Yesterday, I don't even think we had mods, did we? I think we've had a couple dry days. It's to be expected with Christmas around the corner. I'm thinking we may not even see. I'm wondering if we're even going to see mods before Christmas at this point. Giants might actually be out of the office. I didn't even think about that. I know that they do. Hello. Find the gear, Brad. There you go, buddy. We'll try and clean this up a little bit. So yeah, we probably won't be seeing much released before Christmas, but there are so many maps out there and so many good ones. It's really hard to know. It's really hard to like settle on one, and it's hard to not feel like you want to get through more of them. So do you have big plans for Christmas? I know for me, Christmas is going to be, I think, fairly quiet this year. I almost think of the New Year as being a bigger deal now than I do Christmas. I think that's because I'm advancing in the year column, and New Year's becomes a little bit more significant than Christmas does. At least for us older adults. It got me thinking about Christmas, though, when I was a kid. And I was so fortunate. My family, just so fortunate. Just so fortunate. I have so many fond memories of Christmas. I mean, it wasn't... It was a solid family Christmas. I think that's the best way I could put it. You know, it wasn't like some over-the-top mom's decorating the whole house kind of thing and Griswold family thing, but it was a solid family Christmas. We had a great-looking Christmas tree every year. My parents opted for the old fake. I kind of wish I would have come from a family of real Christmas trees. But alas, we did have the old fake. But I got to tell you, the old school fake ones were pretty solid. It's like a lot of things, right? They just don't make them like they used to. Well, the old school fake ones were really solid looking. I mean, I think back to our Christmas tree. In fact, I was looking at a couple pictures, and it was full. It just didn't look fakey, you know? And it's funny because I've got friends, and I remember going over to my friend's house, a couple of buddies of mine during Christmas time after their parents brought up the tree and stuff, and everybody has different family traditions and the way they do things. And I remember looking at some of my buddies' trees and kind of being like, ooh. Like, I know that sounds kind of mean, but it was kind of a ooh. But I'm sure they looked at our tree and went, ooh. You know, because some people do tinsel, some people don't. Some people do a lot of lights. I had a friend that their family didn't do lights. I actually had a friend that did popcorn, a family that did popcorn on their tree. I don't know. You do what you want to do, I guess. I just noticed, and I know it's been there forever, but that jiggling air freshener right there is amazing. I was wondering where that beautiful pine scent was coming from. I knew it wasn't my Axe body spray. It's a really nice mod. Really, really nice mod. I will have, of course, the mods here that I use. I'll put them in the on our Discord server. And I will have... actually, everything I'm using today is from the In-Game Giants mod hub, so there's nothing... there's no... yeah, I don't think there's any external mods this time. I think you'll find everything on the In-Game mod hub. I'm liking this case combo. If you're a big Red fan, that's a good looking setup right there, I'd say. I've always liked these IHs, these 1400 series. I just think they're cool looking. But yeah, we were a Christmas Eve present opening family. And I thought about that. I haven't thought about that in a while, but I was watching, oh, I forget who it was. Might have been Yelsa Farmer. I don't know if any of you have ever watched Yelsa Farmer. Norwegian farmer, I believe. He plays, he has some good content, some good Let's Play stuff. Seems like a super nice guy, easy to listen to, that kind of thing. And he was talking about, they open presents on Christmas Eve. I guess that's, if I understood what he was saying correctly, that's kind of what they do in Norway. Maybe that's a Scandinavian thing, I don't know. I know for our family it was Christmas Eve. And I gotta tell you, it's probably just because that's what I'm used to or that's what I grew up with, but I loved it. Absolutely 100% loved it and would pass along that tradition easily. And I know there's a big thing about waking up Christmas morning and presents under the tree. My parents did not. They weren't Santa Claus parents. They weren't anti-Santa Claus, but they didn't push the Santa thing. You know, I think as kids, really young kids, we had so much Santa stuff going on that we just believed in Santa. It didn't make any sense when you think about it. Now that I think about it, because how did Santa get the presents under the tree like a week early? I guess that's just what he did. Because our presents were always under the tree even a week early. I think my parents put them out there at least a week before Christmas, if I remember right. And I know a lot of people do the whole no presents and then all of a sudden presto presents Christmas morning kind of thing. But that wasn't the case in our family. And I feel like maybe it was a little bit maybe it was a little bit sadistic on their part, because let's face it, as a young kid, you're waking up every morning for a full week before Christmas looking at presents that you can't open. And that's kind of mean now that I think about it, you know. But that also gave us time to sit there and we would go look at them and, you know, you'd pick them up and jingle them around and see if you could kind of guess what's inside. I mean, there was a week's worth of guessing going on before Christmas. I had oh man, one year I was naughty. I was so naughty. I was just so naughty. And I wasn't naughty throughout the whole year, but I was naughty when it came to Christmas. And I don't know what got into me. I think I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't take it. And my parents were gone. Don't know where they went, but they were out for the evening. So it was me and I think maybe just me and one of my sisters. And if there ever was a situation where it was just me and one of my sisters, there really wasn't much oh, hello, dear. There really wasn't a lot of babysitting going on there. She pretty much just told me to leave her alone, and that was the extent of the babysitting. So I just did whatever oh, nice, Brad. I just did whatever I wanted to do. Well, I remember. And I don't remember why. I think it was because I had asked for something that year. It was a, and some of you won't remember this unless you've got a little age on you, but it was TCR, Total Control Racing. Do any of you remember TCR, Total Control Racing? And all it was it was slot racing cars, right? But they weren't in slots. They were just magnetically, I think it was more of a magnetic thing that held them into their lanes. And you could hit a button and the cars would switch to the other lane. I mean, think about that. That was bad to the bone. just bad to the bone. You could pass your friends. You could come up behind them, drift, and then pass your friends, and then cut back in front of them. You could even knock them off the track, I guess, if you wanted to. But I was so into this TCR. And I asked my parents to get me TCR. And I was pretty confident that they did. And I think because of that, I kind of lost my ability. To wait. And I ended up going over to the tree. I still remember. The box made sense. Everything made sense. I grabbed a like an X-Acto knife or something, and I was getting it done. I cut that tape perfectly. I got that present unwrapped. I went as far as to unbox that TCR, lay out the track, play with it, and then put it all back in the box, rewrap, and put it under the tree. So naughty. So naughty. And I have to believe to this day my parents knew. You couldn't get my mom. There was no getting around anything with my mom. She had to know. But maybe not, but I'm almost sure she did. And I felt guilty. I felt so guilty because I had to, fake it. I had to be like, oh man, this is fantastic. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you for getting this for me. And so if I wasn't busted before that, I was definitely busted. I wasn't that good of an actor. And I'm sure my mom kind of looked at me and was like, "Huh. He seems excited, but not that excited like I would expect." So needless to say, I felt pretty guilty. It was the only time I ever did that. And, well, we're never going to get this thing down the road. It's going to be way too wide. I'm either going to take out fencing or signage, fencing, or cars. I don't know where I'm at because I'm horrible with directions. We need to go over to field 49, which is to our right. I'd kind of like to do it the backwoods. Actually is... No, that's not. Thought we might get lucky. It's over a ways. I'm sure we've got traffic. Oh, yes, we've got traffic. Bummer. But yeah, it was an amazing time. And I never did it again. I always felt super guilty about it. I don't think I ever told them. I don't think I ever told my parents about that. I should. They'd get a kick out of it now. And then I could find out, indeed, if my mom knew, Yeah, I'm going to hit you, buddy. Oh, I did hit him. Now I'm grinding the side of his car. Paint gone. But for the most part, my parents were amazing gift givers. They rarely disappointed. We didn't get everything we wanted. We weren't spoiled kids. We weren't rich. We were solid middle class kind of deal, But there was always this. Of course, we had the J.C. Penney's and the Sears catalogs. Let's take this sign out. Oh ho ho. So we'd go through the catalogs, Of course, you'd have to go through the catalogs. We're going to get off the road. I think we can get off the road here and maybe... I think this is 49 right here. Beauty. Yeah, lovely. Isn't this a beautiful map? Especially in the fall. Absolutely gorgeous. I've never been... I've been... I was thinking if I've even been through Pennsylvania. I don't think I ever have been. Dutch communities, a lot of... you have Dutch communities. What's the... boy, why can't it's just lost me? The horse and buggy group. Why can't I? Oh man, that's so bad. It's so bad I can't remember. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Christmas was always amazing. Why is my blinker on, Brad? And I was just so fortunate. But they'd always have us do this list, so you'd go through the catalogs and you would circle what you want or dog-ear the page. And but the way it was set up was you had one big quote-unquote big present. You got one big present, and then the rest were smaller presents. Okay, now I don't know what constituted a big present, but the general idea was, you know, that's the bigger money one. And then from there, you shouldn't expect, you know, more big money presents, because generally speaking, you should be expecting smaller things. But the one present I have never forgotten that I received, that I still to this day can almost remember the feeling of joy and excitement behind it, was that Timex digital watch. I just was so... I wanted a watch very, very badly, and I wanted a digital watch. Now, digital watches had been around, but they were still pretty new. You weren't getting super fancy digital watches yet. You know, you were dealing with some pretty basic technology still. Relatively basic, at least in the price range that I would be getting a digital watch. I guess maybe that's a safer way to put it. And I opened up that Timex digital watch, and I swear I think I lost my mind. And I just thought, man, this is the best Christmas present I've ever gotten in my life. Just absolutely fantastic. I couldn't tell you a single other thing I got for that Christmas. In fact, I probably can't even remember what I got for most Christmases. I know that I got a lot of Batman stuff, play action figures, certainly Star Wars play action figures. Boy, if I had even half of the toys still around, the value is crazy. Hot Wheels was always a big thing. And getting Hot Wheels track, you know, the old orange flexible track, that was amazing. But Hot Wheels were always a guarantee. Once my parents weren't also very big into buying and getting the latest and greatest of really anything. So when Atari came out, the old Atari 2600, of course, every kid wanted one. We actually won our Atari 2600 in a cereal box. I think it was, if I remember right, I want to say it was Captain Crunch, but I don't particularly remember for sure. I found it. I opened up that cereal box, and sure enough, there was a winning ticket for an Atari 2600. Imagine that. It's the only thing I ever won in my life, I think. So we ended up getting this thing. I wish I could remember more details about it. Like, I don't remember it coming in the mail, really. I think it was set up when I got home from school one day. But after that, we would always request, more games. How much things haven't changed, right? Mom, Dad, we want more games for the Atari. I want Frogger. Pitfall, Raiders of the Lost Ark, River Raid. Oh, I loved River Raid. Asteroids. You know, all the games that you really wanted for an Atari. Isn't that funny that many years ago we were begging our parents for Atari games, and guess what my kids want this year? You know, games, Xbox games, PC games. One thing we didn't have when I was younger with the Atari was stinking DLC and all this add-on stuff. You know, the skins. My kid still asks me on a fairly regular basis, you know, Dad, I gotta have this new outfit in Overwatch or in whatever game it is. You know, I gotta buy crates. I have to buy this. Well, I'm like, what? I'll tell you, when I was a kid, and you bought a game, you owned the game. That was it. You didn't keep giving them money. You didn't keep giving them $20 a month for the game. You owned the stinking game. And you got what you got and you liked it. Not so much anymore. Think about if Atari would have... Of course, that would have been impossible to do back then because how would you sell stuff like that? You know, there was no internet. There was no way. There were no online stores. So you pretty much couldn't do it. But the brilliance behind that is just crazy and irritating. But I love that 2600, that Atari. So many hours on that thing. Pong. And the connection was one of those old VHF, UHF connectors. I don't know if any of you remember those things. They look like forks. And you'd unscrew. I forget if it was VHF or UHF, but you would unscrew the two screws in the back of the TV where you would normally put rabbit ears. Look up rabbit ears if you don't know what those are. And that's how the Atari got connected. It wasn't through a HDMI or DisplayPort or, you know, even RCA plugs. That would have been fancy. This was raw dogging it through two UHF VHF connectors. Oh. And I remember, I think our adapter, either our power adapter or our signal to TV adapter went bad. And we were just devastated, you know, because my parents weren't in any hurry to replace that. No idea how much that costs, but they probably saw that as an amazing opportunity to get us off the gaming console and get our butts outside again to play. But eventually we got a replacement and it started working again and we were happy. We probably just aggravated them, you know, to the point where it was better for them to buy a replacement adapter than it was to hear us moan about it. That was about it, though. We didn't get into a lot of other consoles as kids. You know, as Nintendo, the NES and stuff. Never owned one. A friend of mine owned a ColecoVision. I don't know if any of you remember ColecoVision. A friend of mine had a ColecoVision, so I went over to his house a lot to play. My girlfriend at the time, her family had, I think her family was kind of in, her dad was, I think, into it, and got, not into us dating, I think he hated me, but he was into gaming, I think. I think it was like that early onset of fathers into gaming thing. So he had an NES, and he had a ColecoVision, he had a Sony, what was it, what was that other, not PlayStation, but that, I can't remember. Anyways, so, you know, of course, you know, spent a lot of time at their house, which I'm sure he wasn't thrilled about. They were good people, though. But I got to tell you, I relived a bit of that excitement. I'm gonna be honest. When the Nintendo when Nintendo came out, you know, with what was it called, the I forget what it's called, with the controllers, with the paddles, you know, that you could actually play tennis, and what can't I think of the name of that stinking Nintendo system? It's killing me here. I fought and battled to find one. They were so impossible to buy. I keep saying it, thinking Nintendo DS, but that's the handheld. Why can't I think of the name of the Nintendo thing? You're all just looking at the screen going, wow. Full on Alzheimer's. This guy has lost it once and for all. I ended up just deciding that I had to have one. It was out of pure effort. I wasn't one of these lucky people that knew somebody that worked at Best Buy or at a game store or at a we have Meijer here. They're kind of a, you know, like a Walmart convenience store. I didn't know people. I wasn't in the know. So I had to put in the effort. And I had made a deal with two other guys at work. We agreed that if we came across the Nintendos and we could buy, you know, I think most of them had a limit. Sometimes you'd have just a limit of one, I think, for a long time. But if we could buy more than one, we would buy the other people. We'd try to get, out of the three of us, we'd try to score one for everybody. And one night I was one night, it's really bothering me, because now I've got Nintendo Switch in my head, and that's really not it either. That's really bugging me. One night around 11:30, I bet it was close to midnight, somebody tipped me off and said, hey, we found one, but you got to be at the store at midnight. It was a Meijer. You got to be at Meijer at midnight, because that's generally when they're getting their shipments and they're putting their stuff out, and that's when you really want to, you know, that's when you really want to be there. If you're going to find one, that's one of your better bets. And that's what I did. I ended up going to Meijer around midnight, and sure enough, I looked in the display case, and there were 4 of them, I think. I about lost my freaking mind. Then I thought to myself, okay, it's midnight. I want to get 3 of them. But this is going to be a lot of money. Right? I mean, these things aren't cheap. And what if I get stuck with 1 or 2? But then I thought, that doesn't matter at all. eBay is right around the corner. In fact, if I was not a good friend, or if I had a few less ethics, I probably should have just bought. I could have bought all of them and just told my friend, never mentioned it to my buddies, sold them on eBay, and probably paid for the one that I kept, because they were still going for really good prices on eBay. And I thought, should I call them? It's really late. I don't want to do that. So I just bought 3 of them. Got to work the next day. Actually, I think it was a weekend. So anyways, got to work Monday and brought 2 with me. And I got to tell you, my buddies were ecstatic. I think I really made some good bonding relationships there. And if I remember right, I think they paid me, I think they paid me like 50 over, if I remember right. Were they like 350 bucks or something? I seem to remember they cost 350. And there's always different ones you can get, you know, so they probably had deluxe versions or ones that came with extra paddles or you know, joysticks, or ones that came with an extra game. I seem to remember they were like 350 bucks or something like that. And I remember they rounded it up. I don't know if they planned on doing that, but that's what they did. They said, screw it. Brad went out of his way, got us hooked up. Our kids are going to think we're the best parents in the world. So I made some money out of the deal, and I certainly made some good friends out of the deal too, and everybody was happy. We were all super excited. Yeah. Nintendo. It's almost to the point where in my mind, in my little brain, it's like right there. Nintendo. Okay, hold on. Oh man, hold on. Oh man. Okay, the Wii. You know, I don't even know why. I don't know. It just wasn't there. And I'm taking a multivitamin. That's the thing. These multivitamins are supposed to be helping with this problem. The Wii. Oh, I love the Wii. I got some stories about the Wii I'm going to tell you too, but it's getting long in the tooth, so I need to say goodbye. But thanks everyone for checking out my video. Thanks for traveling to Pennsylvania with me. Hope you all have an amazing Thursday. I'll see you back in tranquil waters tomorrow, where we're going to continue our carrot adventure. You all make sure and take care of yourselves. Make sure you take care of each other. And leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and always feel free to subscribe or join. Certainly love to see the new subscribers as well. And I'll see you later. Bye for now. Nintendo Wii.